Hey, I'm Tim. If you've seen any of my videos, you might know that I'm an aspiring author, and I'm working on my first title. It's called A Picture of the Heart, and it is right here. It is not available for purchase just yet. I am still on my last pass edit, but this is pretty much what the cover will look like. Now listen, I want to tell you before we get started, you might see my nails have this black on there. I've been working on my Jeep this week. I had a couple of maintenance issues I had to take care of, and let me tell you, no matter how hard you scrub, this oil will not come off of your fingers. But anyway, that is beside the point. A Picture of the Heart. Hopefully it'll be available for purchase within the next couple of months. I'll put out videos on that. We're close, and I'm excited for you to get to read about Tom's adventures as he goes into the realm of White Oak. Very exciting. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. One of the things I love to do is go to thrift stores, and the reason is because ever since I was a little boy, I have loved libraries. Now, what does a library and a thrift store have to do with each other? Well, namely, books. Ever since I was little, I loved to go to the library because it was just such an amazing place. You just never knew what you were going to find. There was so much creativity there. And so when I go to thrift stores, primarily I'm just looking for books. It's not that not all the books we buy are collectible by any means. Some of them are just random, and that's one of the things I want to show you today. Now, before I do this, listen, I'm not endorsing any of these authors that I'm showing you. I don't know much about them, but I do have an eclectic taste, and here's probably one example of it. I only purchased this. This is so funny because it was just so weird. That happens sometimes. Okay, let's get back. I only purchased this because it was so weird that I just thought I have to buy that. And it might not even have been a thing had it not said it includes a bonus CD. Now, sadly, the CD's not in there. I'm very curious. Maybe drop a comment. Have you ever heard of this author, or especially have you ever heard the CD? And then I'll tell you what's weird. In the same week, not only had I never seen this author or these books, but in the same week at my local thrift store, I end up finding this by the same author. And I just really love what he's done with the artwork. I think it's really cool. Stuff like that just draws my attention. There's two other things I want to show you today. And then I'll do another video next week, and I'll show you kind of like the little groupings of collections I have from pop-up books, example of that behind me, lots of those, to like Goosebumps, old Goosebumps books, which I just love collecting. I don't know that I love reading them. Not that they're bad or anything. It's just, you know, I just like having them for some reason. And that's probably also, maybe it's nostalgia. That's probably also why I purchased this. Now, if you grew up in the 90s or the 2000s, you probably know about this. Of course, that's Slimer, and we could go through all these guys. But the interesting part about this is when I was a kid, they have an episode about the boogeyman that came out of your closet. And guys, I don't know, that was the worst idea ever, okay? That gave me nightmares. But anyway, one of my favorite shows when I was young. And then here's the second thing. Obviously, you can see by my shirt, if you're here, you would find all kinds of little just miscellaneous Star Wars stuff. And this is something I found at the thrift store a while back, and I'm going to try to give you a little closer look at that. Marvel Comics. Okay. Now, here's what's interesting. Is his Luke's lightsaber red in that? I mean, what is going on with that? Luke doesn't have a red lightsaber. And then, obviously, that's pretty, I mean, there's Princess Leia, and clearly that's Marvel for you. But even Luke's face, can you see that? It's like almost non-existent. This is a special introduction by Stan Lee. This is actually a really cool little book. It was done in 1977. Now sadly, it's black and white, which, man, I wonder if they had any colored copies of this. I think that'd be so amazing. But anyway, that's kind of what I do. You know, my wife gives me a hard time all the time about going to the thrift store, but I find a bunch of these little books, and I decorate my office, and I'm surrounded by books as I'm writing a book, and it just makes me happy. So anyway, I guess books are my happy place. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit today. I'm going to come back next week, and I'm going to show you some of the pop-up books I have, and maybe we'll show just the different various collections that I have. I'll probably just do this once a week and walk you through my little library office here. All right, guys, listen, if you're a creative, if you're a writer, or if you're crafting, you're selling things, or you're painting, whatever you're doing, you know, stay motivated. If you haven't saw a video, I'll link it in the description. I talk about some of the distractions that can happen to us as authors and as writers. And I talk about some ways to keep yourself motivated if you're having trouble strapping yourself behind that keyboard. I've got some tips for you. I'll share it in a video below. All right, guys, take care. Till next week.